Hey everyone, today we have an early look at the Darth, Sidious, and Super Battle Droid figures. These come together in a wave of just 2 fan channel exclusive. These are still in these slanted boxes. These haven't been updated to the new packaging yet. And on the left, we've got Sidious's office and the Battle of Geonosis on the right. And this is the first figure in the Galaxy packaging that we are getting in the Revenge of the Sith line, just before they've switched the boxes over again. Even though the square box makes a lot more sense than the slanted mural edges here, I still am going to miss these packages. I think they do actually feel more premium than the square boxes. But of course, we're here to look at the figure itself. So I'm going to talk a lot about soft goods. I'm kind of known for hating soft goods, and these are some of the best soft goods that I have seen in the Black Series. We've got several layers here that are sewn together, and just lots of detail in the seams, as well as like this bunching around the wrist. This definitely feels like it was a lot more expensive than the normal soft goods they do, and underneath we do have that Jedi Luke body, so if you're curious about the articulation on this, you can just go mess around with that figure. The portrait here is pretty good. It's definitely not like import quality, but those haven't been great lately either, so as far as Black Series goes, it looks really nice. He does have a full head under there with hair, and it does move independently of the hood, although the hood does not move. It is kind of anchored by that little piece on the chest there, and yeah, there's no real movement to be had here. So this does actually really limit articulation, but I think the result is a much better looking figure. His left hand matches the box art here in case you want to recreate that pose there, and then the right hand is just your standard like claw grip lightsaber wielding hand. We finally have a Darth Sidious lightsaber in the Black Series after all this time, looking really nice with a little bit of gold detailing there. I unfortunately don't have the original Palpatine Black Series lightning hands to compare to, but this is what these look like. We're going to see how those look with Count Dooku a little bit later in the video. And the hands were fairly easy to remove. I feel like they could have been easier, but I guess you want a nice snug fit for these lightning hands since they do have a little bit of weight to them. But they're not heavy enough that they really impact the posing of the figure. You can still get them straight up in the air like this, and it doesn't make the figure fall forward, so that was pretty nice to see. And the soft goods were pretty cooperative. When the arms go up, you were able to kind of just like tuck the soft goods back down, and they sat into place quite nicely. And unfortunately, the hand pegs are a little bit too small to fit comfortably on Dooku, but you can just use a little bit of black tack, which I will have linked below. Just wrap it around the peg here, and they will stay in place. Unfortunately, they are quite pale, and he might look a little sickly, but you know, I guess that's just what electricity running through your hands will do to them. I now present my case against soft goods. So here on the right, we have the SH Figure Arts Palpatine, and you can just see how much better the silhouette and the quality of the cloth looks on the right compared to on the left. I think the one on the right just looks so much more premium and expensive. The one on the left just looks kind of cheap, and I mean, it looks like a kid's toy, which, you know, I get it. And I fully admit that these are not very toyetic. I mean, here is what the SH Figure Arts solution is to the seated Palpatine, and it looks really nice, but like, this is not a toy, you know, that is a statue, and I totally understand that. And if I worked at Hasbro, I would have made the call to use soft goods on this figure. I think that was the right decision, but for how I choose to display my figures, kind of prioritizing shelf presence over playability, I tend to prefer sculpted plastic over soft goods, except in the case of capes, but even then I tuck him in under the feet here, like under the hexagon stand, to pull them down to look a little bit more natural, because I hate when they just billow out. But again, I would have made the same call that Hasbro did here. I think the sculpted hood works really well, and the fabric does allow for a little bit more posability, as well as seating him into a throne. It's great to see Hasbro finally acknowledging Revenge of the Sith with Yoda and Palpatine. This is the SH Figure Arts Yoda, since we don't have our prequel Black Series Yoda yet, but with the rumors of Obi-Wan and Anakin coming fully retooled from Revenge of the Sith, it seems like we're finally fleshing out this shelf in the next year or so. This is my Mace Windu with a custom resin printed Jedi robe. I know, I even make my Jedi robe sculpted plastic, kind of ridiculous. Now let's take a quick look at the new Super Battle Droid. This is of course the same sculpt that we got a few months ago in the Geonosis 2-pack, but this has the blast effect, so we'll take a look at how that works. So comparing the original release on the left here from the Geonosis 2-pack, honestly on my screen the one on the left looks nicer because it has a little bit more detail, but once we zoom in here that falls apart a little bit. So I think on the shelf the Geonosis one does look quite nice, but if you do want that cleaner look or just want to represent the droids from most of the scenes in your prequel trilogy, you know, the one on the right is going to be your move. The figure in the middle here is the Geonosis version from the left with the blue and the dirt removed, and then painted over with some gunmetal Vallejo paint. I saw some deleted scenes from Revenge of the Sith, and you get a really good look at how blue the droid's head is, and I think the one on the right is actually quite accurate, but everyone's going to have a different head cannon, and surprisingly enough, the interiors are a little different different. The one on the right, the newer one, has little bits of yellow paint there as well, where the one on the left does not. But I know you guys want to see the blast effect, so this one is not going to be compatible with any other figures really, because you can see it has these two little holes here that fit on the twin cannons on the arm, but it is quite a snug fit, and so I'm not going to complain here. The length is a little longer than I expected, but it's not too big of an issue unless you're trying to like have a lot of these on a shelf. Then they might get a little bit busy. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think of these figures. Are you going to be picking them up? Are you happy with the Super Battle Droid that we already have? Or do you think this one is much superior? If you like seeing early Black Series reviews, please subscribe. If you are new to the channel, leave a like if you've been here before. As always, thank you all so much for watching. Here are some other videos that you might enjoy, and I will see you all next time.